soaring high in Arlington, Nebraska. Ken Reetsdorf and his Arlington Ball Club have themselves a winner. Tonight against Bennington, the Eagles in dark won their 7th game of the year against no losses. In fact, making it 32 in a row dating back to last year. Tonight, Arlington beat Bennington 69-47, keeping that record intact. Tomorrow night at 10, we'll visit with the players and Coach Reetsdorf and see if an 86 can bring the small community another state title when March Madness rolls around this year. Here's some of the scores from the high school hoops tonight in boys basketball.
Championship game. And closer to home, the Arlington Eagles are soaring high, and a small town shows its pride. Enos Cabell on there. He's a major ball.
Big game tonight in the Big Ten. Number 2 Michigan against 18th ranked Illinois. To Ann Arbor we go. Now, on the prep side, flying high is the motto in Arlington these days. Flying high with the Eagles. And as Ann Schatz tells us, the Arlington Eagles do not want to come down from their high on the basketball court.
The Eagles don't give much credence to the saying that all good things must come to an end. As of last night, Arlington's boys basketball team has piled up 32 straight wins. They were a perfect 25-0 last year while winning the Class C1 title, and they're 7-0 so far this year after moving up a notch to Class B. You got to wonder if this win streak has made these guys just a little bit cocky, or if all this has gone to their heads. But Coach Ken Reetsdorf has a philosophy. You take it a game at a time, and that's the way the wins keep piling up.
Everybody comes up and says, oh, you play for Arlington. You kind of feel a little bit cocky, but when Coach Reetsdorf straightens out, he says that every game you start out and the score is 0-0, and any team has just as good a shot at hitting us as anybody else does.
Lonnie Graver and Troy Brainerd join Brian as the other returning starter. And this trio is a dandy, but they're not alone.
I've got 5 starters right now who are all on the National Honor Society and like 8 or 9 guys on the honor roll. So they're an intelligent group. They're a fun group. So you can do a lot of things with them.
The Eagles will go for number 33 in a row Friday night against Blair. That'll be a toughie. That's how Arlington likes them. I'm Ann Schatz, News Center 3.
And if you're into golf, the first major tournament of the year opened today with a Tournament of Champions in California. Calvin Pete.
Lions Jeff while in Arlington, Class B's number 1 team hosted Logan View. They treated the visitors, trailed them at the end of the first quarter, but Arlington came to life with its defense. Troy Brainerd on the steal, and Brainerd again on the steal, this time passing to Brian Grunke, who flies in for the layup. They led 28-24 at the half. Lonnie Graver led Arlington with 21 points as the top-ranked Eagles beat stubborn Logan View 49-46. They have won 36 games in a row. Here's a look at the boys' scores. The Burke score again. West Side upsetting Gross after Gross upset Burke earlier this week. Scott Sislow with the winning basket, 55-54. Millard South upsetting Northwest, 62-50 tonight. Benson by a dozen over Bellevue West. Central 69-53 over AL. Prep by 8 over Papillion. North 74, Ralston 57. TJ by 10 over Bellevue East. Millard North over South by 11. Boys Town over Nebraska City by 10. Ashland over Bennington by a basket. Flanagan over St. Joseph 62-56. Harlan, Atlantic, Wahoo, and Lions also winning in boys play. Teams in action tonight on the hard courts, but the big news in college airborne for over a year now, they show no signs of coming down to earth. In fact, they're on schedule towards another landing in the Devaney Sports Center come March. Last March, Arlington capped a 25-0 season by beating Bayard to win the Class C1 title, their first state basketball championship since 1925. This fall, Arlington moved up to Class B, but the Eagles are still flying high. With 2 victories last weekend, their win streak has reached 37 in a row. They're rated number 1 in the state in Class B. Their success is incredible, especially when you consider that none of their starters are over 6'2", that they have a 6-foot guard jumping center, and that just 3 years ago, the Eagles lost 17 of 18 games.
Just kind of a change in attitude, a change in effort, and I think a large part of that credit goes to the kids. They're a special group. They're a good group of kids. We could see that we were going to have good teams. To win 25 games last year in a state championship and 37 in a row, you can never predict anything like that. But we knew we'd have some good ball clubs.
What the Eagles lack in size, they make up in speed, quickness, and desire. Their tenacious defense is the result of an old-fashioned work ethic.
I get excited on defense because I believe that's what wins the games, is defense. And I enjoy it very much, really I do.
We practice very hard at the full court game. We press, we break the press, we like to run the ball down the court. A lot of our kids go out to cross country in the fall, which has helped. A lot of our kids are four-sport athletes, play year-round, and I feel we're in very good condition.
This Arlington team is successful for many reasons. One of them is practice makes perfect, and this team has been practicing together for an awfully long time.
About 8 years. We started in 4th grade. We had a system in our grade school. We started at 4th, 5th. We had a little group. We played among ourselves. And in our 6th grade year, we joined a league in Fremont among the YMCA. And then we started junior high and then on up. I think we're really working good together. We've been playing together ever since we were in the 5th and 6th grade at the Y. And we've really contributed together. And we're going to work hard together as the rest of the season goes on.
Nice group of young men. Sunday's Super Bowl was the most watched TV show in Chicago history. The Bears...
Basketball. Wrong season. Since 1984, including this game tonight with Gretna. Lonnie Graber was hot in the first half for Arlington. They were up 16-4 early in the game. He had 19 points before it ended. Eric Larson, though, helps Gretna with a comeback. They're down by only 6 at the half. He had 17 points in the game, and Gretna's getting back in the game. Eric Pinkel had 10 points tonight for Gretna, and after 3 quarters, it was only 2. Possible upset in the making here as Gretna trails by 2. 3 minutes left. It's only a 1-point game at 42-41. But here's the big play. Lonnie Graber hits the basket. He's fouled, makes the 3-point play. Arlington goes up 45-41, and they win it by 4. Let's go to the scoreboard, and you'll see the 51-47 win for Arlington. They've won 40 in a row. Fremont Bergen beat Holy Name tonight, and also in girls basketball...
Lincoln's 96 Kicks.
It's so long, should have been gone by now. Shouldn't be in this house, to be on my mind. Hanging around, should have gone by now.
And Dick Jan is in now. A lot of high school boys basketball action the first day, and it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times these first-round games, there can be some mismatches and not a lot of exciting games, but we had some tight ones today. The 1986 Nebraska State Boys High School Basketball Tournament got underway today at 4 sites in Lincoln. 12 first-round games have been played, and 12 more are underway or scheduled tonight in 6 classes. The only game to be completed thus far in Class A matched Norfolk in white against Lincoln Northeast, the number 2 seed in Class A. Northeast jumped to a 16-4 lead at the outset today, and Norfolk was never back in it. Willie Perkins scored a game-high 21 points, mostly on breakaway layups in the second half. Norfolk could never get it going today, hitting just 4 of 17 field goals the first half and 37% for the game. Here's Perkins with a nice assist to Dave Watches. Northeast goes on to dump Norfolk 66-48. So in Class A, while Northeast was beating Norfolk 66-48, the Rockets raised their record to 20-2. Omaha Northwest is leading Omaha Central 38-28 with about a minute to go in the third period. Northwest, the defending Class A champion, apparently will meet Northeast in the 7 p.m. semifinals if they hold on to that lead. At 7 tonight, it'll be Burke and Westside, and at 9, Creighton Prep and Hastings in Class A. The first game in Class B today matched Holdridge, which will be shown in some footage we have coming up, in white against Seward. Holdridge got 22 points from number 20, Brian Sanford, and took a 9-point lead at halftime. Corey Cook, number 44, added 18 today for the Dusters and win with defense like this. Holdridge had pretty firm control of the game, but in the third quarter, Seward pulled within 4 points behind Doug Lindner, number 51, who led the Blue Jays with 19 points. That was as close as Seward would get as Sanford put the finishing touches on a 56-46 win with this basket near the end. Holdridge will now meet Arlington in the Class B semifinals. Here's that basket. Arlington, owners of the state's longest winning streak, was taken to overtime today by York. The undefeated Eagles, C1 champions last year, led by as many as 5 the second half behind Mark Griefey, number 10, who had 18 points in the game. But York caught up, led by Dan Smith, number 15, who had a game-high 24 points, and it was tied 48-all with 4 seconds left. York's Paul Austin went to the free throw line, but watch here as he misses everything, and Arlington takes possession with 4 seconds still showing on the clock. Number 20, Troy Brainerd, takes this shot at the buzzer that would have won it. but it's no good, and we go overtime. In the OT, Arlington's Lonnie Graver made 7 points, and the Eagles pulled away for a 58-54 win. Arlington now has won 48 straight games going back to last season. Now let's take a look at the Class B scoreboard, where Holdridge beat Seward 56-46. It was Arlington 58, York 54 in overtime. And basketball.
A lot of basketball.
Not only high school, but college, too. We'll touch on both. The 1986 Nebraska State Boys High School Basketball Tournament got underway today at 4 sites in Lincoln. 24 first-round games were played today and tonight in 6 classes. In Class A, Lincoln Northeast cruised past Norfolk 66-48 as Willie Perkins scored 21 points to lead the Rockets, now 20-2 on the year. In Class B, Holdridge, shown here in white, got 22 points from Brian Sanford and eliminated Seward 56-46. Holdridge will now meet Arlington in the B semifinals. Arlington was taken to overtime today by York. The game was tied at 48 when this missed York free throw gave Arlington the ball with 4 seconds left in regulation. Arlington's Troy Brainerd took this shot at the buzzer, which could have won it, but it's no good, and we go overtime. Arlington got 7 points in OT from Lonnie Graver and pulled away to win 58-54. And speaking of overtimes, it took 3 of them for Osceola to beat Norfolk, and will meet Omaha Northwest in the semifinals tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Northwest beat Central 59-52 today. It was number 1 rated Omaha Burke 48, Omaha Westside 43, and Creighton Prep led Hastings 60-41 at last report in the 4th period. Looks like Burke and Prep will meet in the 9 p.m. Class A semifinal game tomorrow night. In Class B, Holdridge beat Seward 56-46. It was Arlington 58, York 54 in overtime. Arlington now has the state's longest winning streak at 48 straight games. Gering beat Norris 61-56, and tonight Valentine beat Wayne 33-29. Arlington and Holdridge will meet in the B semis tomorrow at 2, while Gering and Valentine will meet at 5 p.m.
Screaming down at the Devaney Center today.
Ah, but that's what it's all about, you know. It's March Madness, state tournament time, NCAA tournament time. I'm going to take one big, deep breath and go right to her, if you don't mind. First round of the Boys State Basketball Tournament is almost history. Some great games on tap as well. We started off with Class A. Top-ranked Omaha Burke tipped it up against Westside, and shots with the highlights and color.
Westside had all kinds of ideas for a major upset. The Warriors jumped on top 8-2 before the Bulldogs woke up to tie it up 12 apiece after 1. Second quarter, Burke started to get her going. Dan Olson with a soft shot. Then Burke scored the hard way. Olson goes flying while Reggie Coker hits. He's fouled, completes the three-point play. 26-20 Bulldogs at the half. Third quarter wasn't even worth mentioning. Burke scored the only bucket of the period. Neither Westside nor the Bulldogs could hit a thing. Still, the Burke lead was 8. Fourth quarter, though, was a dandy. Olson picked up back-to-back beautiful assists as Burke kept the dog lead by 5. But the Warriors hung tough. Kevin Sladanovic with the long bomb, 41-39, 3.5 minutes to play. Burke never let Westside any closer, though, as the Bulldogs beat the press with a home run pass down the stretch and some key free throws. And the Bulldogs escaped with a 48-43 win over stubborn Westside. Now top-ranked Burke will advance to the semifinals against the Prep Hastings winner. I'm Ed Schatz, News Center 3.
Thank you, and great game before that between Omaha Northwest and Central. Central scored only 16 points the first half, just 4 after 1. Eagles, once they found that hole, got back in the old ball game. Trey Thompson of Central for 2. Eagles coming back. But Tony Manuel of Northwest played a great game tonight. Powers his way inside, misses, gets his own rebound, eventually goes in. He had 26. Northwest went up by 9. But Central came back again as the Huskies went cold with 2:55 to go. We had a tie game at 46 all. But it was Manuel who clinched it for the Huskies, hitting this 12-footer and counting 4 straight free throws to topple Central 59-52. Now, the best game of the day was this morning. Arlington, with a 47-game win streak, almost had it broken. York's Keith Hinkle was a man on fire that fourth quarter. But so was Mark Griefey. The lead changed several times. There were 4 seconds to play. York had a chance to win it at the free throw line. But Paul Austin's free throw missed everything. And it went in OT, tied at 48. And in overtime, Lonnie Graves scored 7 of his team's 10 points for Arlington, including 5 of 6 from the charity stripe, to win their 48th in a row over York, 58-54. Now let's get you caught up on all the scorers from Lincoln today in all 6 classes. Class A, your winners, Lincoln Northeast, Northwest, Burke, and in the fourth quarter, Prep leads Hastings by 4. Class B, Holdridge and Arlington were winners. Gering was a winner as well. And in the third, Wayne leads Valentine. Class C. Open today as a big success, I think we all think. 48 teams in the 6 classes all started earlier today, and the first round is over sometime after 10 o'clock tonight. But as you know, someone has to go away as a winner and as a loser. For openers, Class B, top-ranked and unbeaten Arlington against York, and York came into this game ready to play. Led the Eagles after one at this shot, but Dan Smith made it 18-11 second quarter. Arlington came back, and when Mark Griefey gets this shot, the Eagles led it 23-20 at the half. In the third, it was still fairly even, but this steal by Arlington's Troy Brainerd gave Arlington a 5-point lead after 3. In the fourth quarter, you couldn't ask for a better game. Keith Hinkle, number 23 of York, 2:40 to play, hands one, 42 all. Hinkle was hot, and so was Griefey, number 10 for Arlington. The two kept trading baskets. And it came down to the final tick to the clock, but when Lonnie Grover misses from the baseline, Paul Austin rebounds and fouled with 4 seconds to play. And Austin had a chance to win it on the free throw for York, but his first shot misses everything. And we go into overtime, tied at 48. But it was an OT when Lonnie Graver hit 5 of 6 free throws. How Arlington to its 48th straight win down in York, 58-54. An incredible win streak. Graver told me it was business as usual.
Well, our philosophy is take game by game, and hopefully we can come out on top. And fortunately we've worked hard together, and it's a lot of fun.
The second game was a Class A encounter.
Oh, my sleep here for the next couple of days. But here's what we have to show you so far today. We're half the way to the final 12 for tomorrow's finals in the State Boys High School Basketball Tournament. 6 semifinal games were played today, and 6 more are underway or are scheduled tonight. In Class B this afternoon, Arlington, in the red uniforms, brought the state's longest winning streak to the semifinals against Holdridge. Arlington had not lost a game since going through as undefeated state C1 champions last year, 48 straight games. And Arlington went ahead of Holdridge by as many as 8 points in the third quarter, as Brian Grunke, number 13, scored 20 points for the Eagles. But Holdridge caught up midway through the fourth quarter as Brian Sanford, number 20, scored a game-high 22 points. And it was close the rest of the way. With a minute and a half remaining, Troy Brainerd hit this basket to give Arlington a 49-47 lead. But then Sanford came down on the other end and ties it back up on that hoop. Holdridge got the ball back on a turnover and ran the clock down for a final shot. Number 22, Bob Sundquist, takes the potential game winner here at the buzzer. And it's no good. We go overtime. For Arlington, it was their second straight overtime game, and the Eagles may have run out of gas. Holdridge took command at the start of the extra period and outscored Arlington mostly on free throws 8-0 to win 57-49. Holdridge will now meet either Valentine or Gehring in the Class B championship tomorrow night. Quite a finish today also in the C1 semifinal between Sandy Creek and Fremont Bergen. Say semifinals go tonight at 7 and 9, with Northeast meeting Omaha Northwest and Omaha Burke taking on Creighton Prep. In Class B, Holdridge upsets Arlington 57-49 in overtime, ending the 48-game winning streak of Arlington. And Valentine leads Gehring 35-34 now with about 7 minutes to go in the game. In the finals, Holdridge will meet either Valentine or Gehring tomorrow. This year's state tournament came this afternoon in Class B, where Arlington had its state's longest winning streak stopped at 48 by Holdridge. Arlington had not lost a game since going through as undefeated state C1 champions last year, 48 straight games without a loss. And Arlington went ahead of Holdridge by as many as 8 points in the third quarter today as Brian Grunke, number 13, scored 20 points for the Eagles. But Holdridge caught up midway through the fourth quarter as Brian Sanford, number 20, scored a game-high 22 points. And it was close the rest of the way. With a minute and a half remaining, Troy Brainerd hit this basket to give Arlington a 49-47 lead. But then Sanford came down on the other end, and watch him tie it back up on this basket from outside. Holdridge got the ball back on a turnover and ran the clock down for a final potential game-winning shot. Number 22, Bob Sundquist, takes the potential game winner here. It goes up and no good as the buzzer sounds, and we go overtime. For Arlington, it was their second straight overtime game, and the Eagles may have run out of gas. Holdridge took command at the start of the extra period and outscored Arlington mostly on free throws, 8-0 to win 57-49. Corey Cook scored 9 of his 11 points in the fourth quarter and overtime to spark Holdridge to the big upset.
It was unbelievable because they had that 48-game winning streak, and that's all we had in our mind, is not to let them keep going with it. And it felt great just hitting those last free throws. And I don't know, know, it's unbelievable.
The win did not come easy at all, did
No. We had a lot of trouble with the pressure early in the game, but towards the end, when they got in foul trouble, we started pulling our game together. And we play like a team so well that it helps out a lot. We're all together.
Holdridge will meet Gering in tomorrow's Class B finals. Gering edged Valentine in the other B semi tonight, 46-44. We'll be running down all the scores a little bit later on.
Class A, and they will defend their title against Burke tomorrow with an overtime loss to Holdridge. Arlington led by 2 with about 1:20 left in the game. The ball goes to Scott Schroeder here, and he's got the basket for Holdridge. This ties it up, and it goes into overtime. Holdridge took the lead as Schroeder found Corey Cook inside to start the overtime period, and they never trailed. Arlington failed to score in overtime. Cook scored 5 points in that extra period, and Holdridge recorded the upset. Cook talked about the 57-49 win, and when it was all over, he had 5 points in the overtime, and Holdridge wins it, upsetting Arlington today.
We had a lot of trouble with the pressure early in the game, but towards the end, when they got in foul trouble, we started pulling our game together. And we play like a team so well that it helps out a lot. We're all together.
Arlington's winning streak ends at 48 straight. Holdridge beats them to go into the finals tomorrow against Gering. Gering beat Valentine 46-44 in a last-minute shot. Holdridge takes on Gering for the Class B championship tomorrow. And coming up next, I'll show you highlights of Cathedral's semifinal win over Bear today in Class C1.